If we could just get rid of the close contact rule, Dan, that would be terrific. Make everyone's life a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Damien Hardwick has had a massive crack at Daniel Andrews. Says it's time to get rid of all the isolation rules. I couldn't agree more.
Has there been a greater overreaction in footy this year than the pile-on that followed Damien Hardwick's brief quip at the end of an almost 8-minute press conference at Marvel Stadium on Sunday? Some of it was self-serving, but the fallout is seen. According to 9 News tonight, AFL bosses issue a stern warning to clubs about criticising governments in the wake of keeping the COVID show on the road. Criticising governments. Look, Hardwick famously struggled with COVID protocols early doors in the pandemic, and yes, there was an edge of frustration in his half-joking Sydney Stack lament. But seriously, media outlets, you are overstretching to try and turn that into a major political issue. And while I'm on the subject, a far bigger and more significant story happened today politically, and that was the sudden resignation of the Tasmanian Premier, Peter Gutwein. That is going to have a massive impact on the Tasmanian battle for a football team, because he had been very much driving this and had certainly impressed the AFL with his passion and his willingness to put his money where his mouth was.
Many were saying it's a certainty, so you're not saying with him leaving that changes that, does it?
I haven't had time to make any calls on this, but I would see that as a major setback for the Tasmanian push.
I don't think it was close to being a certainty before that. I still think there's a lot of water to go under that bridge.
I disagree. Go on.
Do you?
Yep. I thought it was getting very, very close. But we've got more. We'll cover that off later in the week.
OK, well, I look forward to that. Let's talk about the Tigers' discipline, because they, again, had issues with that. Damien Hardwick, apart from having a go at the Premier in his press conference, also had a go at his own team for acts like this game.
Yeah, look, their record isn't great. It's been an issue for a while. When you're winning and when you're a dynasty, you tend to get away with it. I think they've got more issues than this, Lordo, and that comes down to personnel, and that comes to how thin their midfield is, how old they are, how they struggle to run out games. I know you noticed that, and their record in last quarters this year has been awful. There's the one with Pickett on Butler now. I think Butler's milked that significantly, and I think the umpire was gullible and got sucked in. But when you've had repeated moments like this and you start to lose, these issues will come up.
Yeah, and he's frustrated with it himself. When you're not going as well, you can't be the worst, most undisciplined side from a free kicks perspective. And these stats are worse when you break it down to 2 games. Round 1 and round 3, they've conceded 14 goals in last quarters to 1. They've only kicked 1 themselves. Yeah, wow. So I think that they're
damning stat, Lloyd.
They're beaten up through the midfield. And then they're being run off their legs on the outside, which particularly happened in that 60-point burst that was 60 points to nothing against St Kilda.
They're a proud group. Can it get really ugly for them this year?
I can't wait to see how they go. I think the Bulldogs turn it around on the weekend, and it's Richmond v the Western Bulldogs. So I think we'll find out this weekend, Kane.
I reckon they're in danger of completely falling apart this year. Grimes is injured again with a hammy. There are a couple of key players away, Caro, from, I think...
Hang on. Caro said they were going to win the flag at the start. Are you happy to back away from the flag?
Listen, you can complete... Is your name Craig Hutchison tonight?
I hope
something
not.
Like that?
I don't think so.
Look, you make bold predictions. They don't always come true.
Yeah,
correct.
We'll see.
It was fairly bold.
I felt with their practice match form, and I wasn't aware of how bad the Dustin Martin situation was. I mean, I didn't know Dion Prestia was going to get injured again.
Don't make excuses.
No,
I made it by the sword.
I may have made a very, very big mistake, but I'll back my... Anyway, I'll leave it at that.